Well, happy Monday to you all. Good afternoon. I hope each of you are doing wonderfully and trying to enjoy to the best of your abilities week 4, 5, 16, 17 of quarantine. This new normal for us. I'm not sure what week it is, but we know that God is still faithful, God is still sovereign. And so wanted to come today and just remind you of that, remind myself of that, honestly, because I've been struggling a little bit, just mentally speaking, wishing life would go back to normal, wishing that I could, be with you all again, go back to work and be physically there and just, be able to do what we used to do. But obviously, for the time being, that's not the case. But even in the midst of that, where can we find encouragement? Well, Mark 4:39, you're probably familiar with it, but it says, "He got up, being Jesus, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, 'Silence, be still.' The wind ceased, and there was a great calm." And even in Psalm 46:1, it says, "God is our refuge and strength, a helper who is always found in times of trouble." And so I'm just reminded reading both of those passages, being the first one when they're in the boat and Jesus is sleeping and the waves are crashing over the boat and the disciples are trying to they're fighting for their life in the middle of this storm, and Jesus is asleep in the front of the boat. And the disciples wake him up saying, "Jesus, do you not care that we're practically dying here? We're fighting for our life, and yet you are, for all intents and purposes, asleep in the front of this boat." And immediately Jesus stands up and says, "Peace, be still." And everything around them became calm. And in the Psalm 46:1, we have a God who is a present help in times of trouble. He is our refuge. He is our strength. And so if anything today, as we walk through what we're walking through, I would hope and pray and encourage you to try and walk through it from a position of strength and a position of peace, in the sense of not, because things are good, not because things are what they should be, but because we have a God who sees us where we're at. We have a God who knows exactly what we're walking through. We have a God who knows exactly what those who are struggling and suffering through this virus are walking through. And he says, "I am the same yesterday, today, and forever." And from a word, all it takes is a word. He can speak one word and everything around us is calm. And so from that peace and from that position of strength, because of what Christ has done for us, we can stand confident and face what's going on in our lives. Even if it has nothing to do with the virus, we can stand confidently and know that there is a God who not only loves us, but he sees us where we're at. And he calls us and says, "I know what I'm doing, and I know things may look bad, but I've got a plan." And so I hope that encourages you today. I would encourage you to pray, even if you're struggling with that, just like myself. I'm having to do it because I'm struggling with it. Just pray and be honest with God. He knows our hearts, and he wants to hear from you. So he loves you. I love you. I hope you're great. Having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later.